Hey, what's up guys? In this video we are working on the interior of the Jeep. Got some upgrades and those include a Tuffy security center console, which is awesome. I've been trying to get one for a long time. And then we've got some floor mats going in the Jeep too. And we're doing this the hard way because they've got to wrap around the roll cage that goes to the floor. But we're gonna figure it out, so stay tuned. Oh. Woohoo! Got the new center console for the YJ right here. And honestly, one of my favorite parts about this already is this pad right here. Looking forward to using this. So this thing feels pretty solid. This is just how I took it out of the box. It hasn't even been opened yet. Pretty beefy locking mechanism right there. That's some more bubble wrap. Looks like that might be a cup holder right there. Got some this weather stripping. Guessing this is like a tray that's removable on the inside. Some hardware. And looks like the straps for the seat belts. There it is. Yeah, there's a ton of room in here. Don't have anything that's really good for showing how much space is in here. It reminds me of an ammo can, basically. This is the 6.5 inch version, so fairly narrow version. A little bit of an area to hold something right here. I think what we're gonna have to do is bolt bottom on because the bottom needs to drop down a little bit, and then we're gonna have a cup holder that goes right here, and then I believe I can also order one that can go on the back too. Let's get started putting this thing together. So I got mine off of Amazon, and first thing you can see is they are not cheap. They are probably twice the cost of the next cheaper version of a center console, but I was really looking for that peace of mind. And honestly, I've been looking at one of these for probably about 15 years and I just never pulled the trigger, mostly because of the price, but I did. And I'm glad I did now. So right here at the top, you can see it says does not fit my 93 Jeep Wrangler. It's not true. It actually does. There's people down there in the reviews that say that it does, so don't worry about that. So we've got two very different center consoles here. This is one from Rampage. It's the one that was in the Jeep when I got it. And you can see it's got a gray cloth on it. Actually matches the interior of the Jeep pretty well with those gray seats. But we're swapping out to black. I like to make all the accessories black, and hopefully our future seats will be black too. So a ton of differences between these two center consoles. One of the first things you can tell is this one from Rampage is just way bigger. This one's way longer, probably almost twice as much storage in this one, I'd say. Cup holders in the back, cup holders in the front. So the Tuffy box actually does come with a cup holder. Looks like this, and you can either mount it on the front right here or on the back. And this part's kind of cool because you could go up and down depending on what your floor looks like in your rig. The only thing you really have to assemble on this one is this little pedestal in the back. You can see they're raised up because the transmission tunnel kind of goes down in the back. So to mount this one, it was really just a couple holes drilled into the floor, but they're really small. This one takes a couple of 5/16 bolts that go right through the floor, and actually some long bolts in the back, unlike these little screws. The main thing I didn't like about this one was really how big it was. It just barely fits between the seats, and then there's no retainer for the seatbelt strap, which is actually what this is right here. So every time the passenger seat went back, it would take the seatbelt with it, and then when we put the seat forward, the belt would be stuck back there, and it was a nuisance. Didn't want to deal with it. But Tuffy's whole thing is security, right? So their box is much harder to get open, a much more robust locking system, and it's made out of metal. This one, extremely flimsy. I mean, this is so lightweight, it feels like it might just be made out of like balsa wood or some kind of plastic in there. And if you wanted to pry this thing open, it would be very easy to do. I'm not saying you can't do that with this one, I'm just saying it's a lot harder. So check out the interior. Tons of room in this one. Got everything from like zip ties, extra belts, my winch controller, all that. And then I even mounted my GRMS radio to the front to this little coin holder thing that I wasn't using. But yeah, this one ready to be gone. The Tuffy one, you can get one with a DIN on the front for a CD player or radio or whatever. This unit's only 6.5 inches wide, so not enough room to stick, you know, a whole CD player in there. I could bolt this to the front, but I think I'm gonna end up going on top by the roll bar instead. The inside of this one's pretty basic too. You can see this one's actually steel, and then it's got this little padding on the bottom. Those are the two bolt holes right there on the bottom where it secures to the floor with some long bolts. And then there's actually one more bolt hole right there. I just kind of punched a hole through, and I'm hoping that rubber pad in there will be almost like a little bit of waterproofing when we sandwich a bolt and nut onto it. All right, let's get this thing installed. All right, so there's a look at those 3 mounting bolts in there, and that is the head of them. So some people are saying you would want to put the nut on the inside so it's harder to remove the whole box, but when you're dealing with those nylon lock nuts, I feel like it doesn't matter what side you go at it. If you don't have something securing on the other end, it's just gonna spin. So one thing that's a little bit frustrating with this kit is it doesn't come with enough hardware, and it definitely doesn't come with the right stuff. Like, these are the long bolts that go in through the rear of the case, and they're like 2 inches too long. I don't know why. I was trying to think of why that might happen. Like, you have carpet in here and some noise dampening materials, but I feel like that's not 2 inches thick. So I don't know. I had to go to the hardware store and get some more, but check out the things that hold the seatbelt that I was talking to. These are actually pretty awesome. So right here, you can see the seatbelt stuck between this strap. It's the same on both sides. I don't know if you saw it earlier when I folded this forward, the seatbelt stays in one spot and then you put the seat back and the seatbelt's still in the same spot. I couldn't tell you how frustrating it has been to try to push that thing through every single time when we're getting the kid out of the back seat or something. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now we've just got to put our cup holder on the front. Should be a piece of cake. Then we're gonna get on to some floor mats. All right, so how hard is it to install floor mats? Shouldn't be very hard, right? Well, the issue I have is this bar for the roll bar going down right where I need the floor mat to fit. So not sure how it's gonna work. Probably gonna have to do some cutting to get around there. Let's take a gander. All right, look like they fit pretty well in the rest of this area. So what I did is I just put a little dot on here. That appears to be where the center of the pole will be on the mat. So here's my idea. Is this crazy? I don't know. I'm gonna use a hole saw, cut a 1.5 inch or 1 3/4 tube through, and then I'll just do a slit that goes to that. So hopefully I can kind of just wrap it around. Let's give it a shot. Moment of truth. So I ended up using a 2-inch hole saw and we got really, really close. Now we'll see if we can duplicate it on that side. I did it again. Nailed it. Look at that. Just hugging around that tube like a glove. Yes. All right, so there's the Tuffy lockbox place. Holder there with plenty of room from the bottom and the shifter boots, and our new floor mat. So in case I didn't already say it, there's just a slit on the outside of both of these where these can peel up, and I kind of cut it along this angle so it matches these little chevrons on there. They fit great. As I pull this forward, notice the seatbelt stays put. It's got the strap holding it in place. So it used to be when I put the seat back down right here, and the seatbelt will just get stuck like way back here. It's a pain in the butt. We have the rear mats in. So I say mats, actually just one big mat. It was a little bit delayed in getting here. There's a part that goes in between right there next to the two, but because of this center console, you can see right here, it wasn't gonna fit. I didn't wanna mess with cutting it and stuff. And there's already like an edge right here where you can cut it. So decided to just cut it right there. Mats and rear. Next, well, you can see these seats are old, beat up original seats. They're actually not in bad condition for, you know, how old they actually are. This one over here has got a tear on the driver's side, but that's one of the things we're gonna do next. We are gonna replace the seats in this thing with the black theme. Now that everything in here is slowly going towards black, ordered some Bestop Max Pro 2, something like that. Like a leatherette type of seat with an adjustable headrest, and about it because that's like the last thing that's really dating the inside of this Jeep. And you know, the more comfy we can make this for these wintertime snow runs, the better for the whole family. I'm definitely looking forward to the peace of mind of having something in here that is tougher than the stock one and my aftermarket one, and especially tougher than the glove box, so we can lock stuff up in here. I don't have to worry about it and we just go. Also, very nice armrest that I didn't have before, because my last one, it was pretty low. I want to say it was like this high. This one's a few inches taller and it's a lot better. Here's another look at the seat. Not bad. It's got a little bit tear here, a little bit of a tear there. Definitely weathered. With this top, I feel like the next two things I want to replace before winter. I don't know if we're going to get to the top, but coming together. getting ready for some snow runs. Well, I had to put the top back on because it's getting ready to rain, and hopefully that'll wash some of this dust off. It's so dusty in our area that it just constantly looks dirty. But interior of the Jeep, it's getting there. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for things that we can do to spiff this up inside, especially looking for those budget options, like things that people just made. I've seen some really cool ammo cans that are turned into center consoles. I just really don't have the time for it right now, so I just bought one, but I'm open to ideas of anything you guys are doing that's cool, so definitely post it down in the comments. I'll put both the floor mats and the Tuffy center console down in the description, so if you want to check it out, it's pretty cool because there's a bunch of different sizes depending on what kind of seats you have in your Jeep. Store in there or on there. So like if you have a CD player or you need it to be just a little bit wider, definitely check those out. I'd recommend them. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. See you next time.